Alright. What's up, everybody? We are here with a big series. It's one of the best series from IEM TvZ. That's right. It's a Group D, Group of Death match, best of 3 between MARU, down here in the bottom left side, representing Envy, Team Envy, and his opponent representing Clash. This is a Red Bull Raynor. Going for a standard hatchery first to start things off. And interestingly, guys, he's looking for proxy barracks, so showing some respect to a guy who is absolutely god tier at the proxy rack strategies. He's going to be going out the left side with his first overlord. Now, this gives up Raynor's ability to send an overlord to the other side and confirm the command center goes down. And instead, he's using his first and second overlords both to hunt for these nearby proxy barracks locations. So where's this overlord going? Now that he's checked to the left, he is going to click it straight up there, and it looks like he's going to keep the overlord out here somewhere, ready to sacrifice through into the production. Probably about 3 minutes 30, 3:45, maybe 4 minutes. He'll probably sacrifice through and try to spot, hey, are you pumping Hellions? Is there an early fusion core in here? That sort of stuff. So you can see this other second overlord, after it does its little loop-de-loop down here, does pull back. Now, technically, could be 2 barracks there that he doesn't spot, right? He could be barracks out here, or maybe barely behind that, though I don't think they could have got there in time without the overlord spotting it, because that was the first overlord that went there. So there's no close by proxy racks locations that would have got by Raynor in this game. Double queen on the way there. Sorry, guys, was just clearing the throat. And we've got a reactor marine. So marine into factory into reactor opening. So MARU skipping the Reaper, skipping the scout entirely. He's going to be opening up really greedy. He drops the second gas, and you might think the second gas is pretty late because normally it goes down right after the factory. That's not really the case. Remember, he saved 50 gas by not building a Reaper. So it's just that his factory is exceptionally early. His factory is super duper early, as is the reactor. He's going to get very early Hellions out if he decides to swap that over. However, MARU has been doing some different build orders recently, so we'll keep an eye on it. And no, okay, he's not going to swap, at least not yet. Now, this is a build order. We've actually seen MARU go into mech off here a lot. Interestingly, only 2 workers on 1 gas, and you can see he's rallying this guy. Now, I expect the moment that starport's done for him to put a fusion core down and go up to battle cruisers and a 3rd command center, right? So obviously, it's going to be a medevac. 8 Marines, or 7 Marines normally, I think is the number that ends up. 3 Hellions will also be going across, and he'll swap this over so he can then go up to 5 Hellions, 7 Hellions, 9 Hellions, while building battle cruisers. So it gives you the Marine squad in the medevac. You can hunt down overlords, drop those, kill them. You can attack this base. You can then pick up in the main. It's just very flexible pressure, and while you're hitting this right side with the drop, the Hellions can try to dart in the left and burn up the drones on the natural. So it's a very flexible pressure. It does give up the very immediate Hellion Reaper in your opponent's face that you get with some of the other build orders. But you can see these 2 Hellions arriving at not a bad time. And indeed, yes, it is that fusion core build order. So this is his favorite way to go up into kind of battle mech and then go into ghosts from there as well. And that's a very scary style that honestly, I don't think Raynor's going to be super well prepared, or maybe not well prepared to deal with, but well suited. In terms of Raynor's skill set, he's not good against late game mech. He's very good in the early mid game though, so a mech player's real problem with Raynor is surviving to that stage. Now, this overlord did get out on the red hit points. MARU's going to hunt that one down. Well worth it there. Just unloads those Marines for a moment, and then we'll continue across this map. The other overlords with overlord speed are going to run out of there. So he's going to build a Roach Warren is Raynor. He's only got 3 queens right now. 3 more queens are about to pop out, but they're not super duper fast, are they? And he's put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 active tumors already, which means 6 active tumors, which means he does not have any transfuse energy. So really trying to play greedy on the creep spread. MARU's actually saying, okay, well, you've split your Zerglings and your queens there. Let's just join up and try to overwhelm these 2 queens. As I said, they do not have transfuse energy. So Raynor needs to run away from this base. He just needs to run back. He's fighting. Raynor making a bad decision to fight here. He's trying to get the medevac. Oh, okay, the medevac. But look at that. MARU boosts, pulls the medevac back. These queens starting to take a lot of damage. Raynor should have pulled back from this base and waited for a few more Zerglings to pop up, but he's kept droning in the midst of this. Guys, he built 5 more drones even while this pressure was hitting. Raynor severely underestimating the strength of this pressure. Guys, you've got to remember, he did an Overlord speed opening. He did not have many queens because he was rushing Overlord speed. That's where his early money was going. And he's actually massively screwed up. He's basically just died to a handful of Hellions and Marines. This is a light pressure. That's all this was from MARU. And he's done massive, devastating damage here to Raynor. Raynor losing, I mean, what did he just lose? 5 queens, 12 zerglings, 5 drones for 2 hellions and 3 marines. MARU cannot believe it. He's like, oh, dude, didn't you scout what I was doing? And the thing is, I think Raynor was so focused on the fusion core and the battle cruiser that he just kind of underestimated the first wave of pressure. He just massively underbuilt units. Look at this, the battle cruiser teleports in. The spore's not even ready yet. Raynor trying to evacuate some of his drones. A whole bunch of them do go down, though. The Hellions, Marines, and the BC going to do their work. Queens coming down. Once again, no transfuse energy. These are new queens that have popped out. The other ones have died, and if you don't give queens time to gather energy, they are a really shit unit. They're not good. Raynor just gets completely bopped. He goes for the Overlord Scout, but he jumps the gun there, and I always talk about just how fragile these Overlord Scout openings, Overlord Speed openings are, because you are delaying those extra queens. So check it out, guys. Notice how he's going to go Ling Speed, but he's going to leave on gas. At least 2 guys. Yeah, he pulls 1 off gas. That's a lot more gas than normal. Where is the 3rd hatchery? Well, it doesn't go down super duper fast, does it? It goes down about 240. And he's only got 2 queens. He's actually skipping the 3rd queen for a really long time because he wants to rush Overlord Speed. And it's this lack of extra queens. Yes, he gets some tumors out, gets some good creep spread, but doesn't have a queen injecting there, doesn't have extra queens gathering energy, and that's why he just does, he's not that prepared, and he did need to kind of gather all of his queens up, pull behind the hatchery. I think those first 2 queens being out front was a huge mistake, and I think in hindsight as well, you've just got to realize that yes, the Hellions plus the Marine drop is usually a multi-prong pressure, and I honestly feel like Reynor's just never played against someone who did this the way MARU did it, where he joins the pressure up. Because all you need to do is just don't put down so many creep tumors, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, look at how many tumors. This is just too many creep tumors, guys. Way too many tumors. You don't need 3 creep tumors down here. So if he doesn't put those down, right, you can imagine plus 25 energy on at least 2 of these queens, which means in about 10, 15 seconds, they're going to have transfusers ready. You know, so if he's got a couple transfusers ready, and if he builds a big handful of zerglings here with all this lava, whereas look at his production tab right now, where's the zerglings? He knew this was coming, and he tries to defend it with 10 zerglings and just the queens that he already had out. So just massive disrespect for Raynor, misjudges it, and something which he thinks of as 2 light poking and prodding harassment forces turns into 1 not terrible frontal assault, and Raynor is just way too greedy. So misjudged by Raynor. MARU gets an easy game 1 victory. All right, guys, we're up 1-0, and MARU looking like a beast. That was a very easy way to win game 1, to be fair. And I'm sure his opponent is going to be waking up a little bit after that and going, okay, let's not let that happen again. Raynor for Clash, and a really, really bad start for him. That's uncharacteristic. You know, I always talk about how Raynor severely outplays MARU in the early and mid game. Like, historically, when you look at their matches, MARU cannot hold a candle to Raynor in the mid to late game. And MARU fans hate when I say this. They're like, stop it, no. They're like, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, guys, show me a game. Like, it's so rare. Don't get me wrong. There is the rare game like that last one. And that's such a unique gem where MARU just stomps on Raynor. But honestly, these haven't happened since Raynor came into his own. You have to go back to like 2018, 2017 to find those Raynor versus MARU matches. And since then, I mean, Raynor versus pretty much every Terran, it's very rare for him to not just get far enough ahead that they have to just turtle up, lock the door down, and try to make it to late game. And that's the thing, is that MARU's, in my mind, a lot better than Raynor at late game. He's more technical, and he is fantastic at that stage. So if he can get there, I do think he has a very good shot. And getting a free win at the start of the series eases off the pressure. I mean, he only needs 1 more map. But there is always the fear of the fact that Raynor has been behind against MARU many times before. And as long as he finds a way to leverage the early advantages that he so consistently gets for himself, then he'll be good. Now, he puts a worker back on gas, which tells me he was thinking about doing a different build order, and he's now decided once again to potentially go... Will he go OV speed? I mean, actually, he hasn't even made Ling speed yet, so I guess he just wanted to get the gas for Ling speed. This is a command center first for MARU. Yet again, no scout and a very greedy build, guys. So 2 games in a row where part of me wonders if, you know, if Raynor had gone for like a pool first, a couple Zerglings, followed up with 5 or 6 Roaches, some of them morphed into Ravagers, he could have done a lot of stuff, dude. As always, we regularly have questions from people. They're like, hey, what's this user interface you use? Of course, you guys can go into your menu If you go into your observer and replay menu, there's like WCS 3.0 and a few other ones. But there's also some custom ones you can download. This one is GameHeart. I believe I have a command in chat for Nightbot. If you type !GameHeart in my Twitch chat, I believe that will come up with the a link to the download. Otherwise, if it's not there, I'm not sure if that's updated or not. You will have to Google it. Now, guys, this is interesting. Bio play for MARU. Okay, MARU. It's going to go full bio here, guys. This is a delayed starport. So it's second and third barracks before starport. He may do a 2-base all-in here, because this is 3 barracks before third command center. At the very least, he's going to be piling on the aggression. Now, I wonder what angle he wants to hit, right? I know a lot of Zergs would take this base, and that's a pretty deadly ledge up there, and you can even do like the Doom drop in the main and, you know, work that angle. But if Raynor takes this base, does he take the 4th in the middle? If so, I guess you're pushing from tanks here, and then maybe trying to get behind this ledge with siege tanks would be really powerful. So I think he'll stop at just 4 Hellions, will MARU, in my opinion. So I expect this to lift off. And then it'll build a tech lab, and the starport will swap into the reactor. That's what I expect. Let's see. Do we go Hellions 5 and 6, MARU? How's this build order work? I'm very curious to see what he's got in store. And I do expect a single engineering bay for MARU sometime in the near future as well. Now, he hasn't quite swapped those over. Of course, he's waiting for the Viking. And, oh, Raynor did go Overlord speed. It was a bit of a delayed one this time. This was not a super quick Overlord speed, but he still gets a very important scout. He sees 3 barracks. He knows, okay, you're going to make stim, shields, medevacs, tanks, or in this case, actually Widow Mines. He goes reactor. Oh, so MARU's going to do a 2-base bio, but it's with Widow Mine production. Very cutesy, very cool. And part of me wonders as well, does he decide to go into a 3rd command center very quickly behind it? Is that like always the plan? This is just to pile on the pressure, or is it for some other reason? Now, Raynor, on the other hand, hasn't quite saturated this 3rd mineral line just yet. You can see he's going pretty quick. Triple gas and lair. So he's saying, oh, big 2-base aggression. Bane speed will be ideal against that. The faster I get my baneling speed, the better. Unfortunately for Raynor, he is losing a 2nd overlord here. So the Viking definitely picking up some value. He's seen everything he needs to see, has Raynor, so he's not in too much trouble. And we've got a Marine drop, so it's only 11 Marines to start, though. Not quite as powerful as it maybe could be. And he's going double engineering bay. Okay, so MARU's going to play a macro game off this, guys. This is bizarre. So MARU is actually missing Marine production right now. He's going double upgrades rather than single upgrades. And he hasn't started the 3rd command center. Now he starts the 3rd command center. So he's cutting Marines. I think this is a reaction. I think MARU, if he didn't get scouted by Overlord speed, he was going to go really committed, and I think he would have gone tank production rather than Widow Mines. So I think this is MARU saying, look, he's scouted my all-in. He's going to be massing units of 55, 60 drones. There's no way I'm going to kill him. So let's continue some aggression, make it seem like we're setting up for the all-in 2-base attack, and then let's just go to a 3rd base, go to the double upgrades behind it. A very cool adjustment by MARU, not wanting to play a very obvious style where he lets Raynor's scouting be too effective. Ooh, he grabs a queen, but does need to get out of there. I love that there's a landed Viking in this double drop. He realized, hey, that's not the most useful unit flying around. I've already pushed the Overlords back. Had space in those medevacs, so he might as well do it. Hellions and the Reaper are going to get some volleys off, but only 2 drones, and that's a shutdown. Ah, those Hellions do get taken out. Behind this 3rd command center is almost finished. 1-1 upgrades are on the way. And it's just going to be interesting to see, because you've only got a few Widow Mines. They don't have drilling claws. Shields on 1-1 are still 40 seconds away. So as nice as it is to clear creep here, MARU should not be overextending. And just the fact that Raynor hasn't even been able to put a 4th base down, I think that's enough for MARU. I mean, this creates a big transition opportunity. MARU, he's in this weird position right now where he's not really committing to reinforcing this army, but he'd still like to get a good trade if he can. Grabs a queen there. As long as he doesn't let his Marines get hit, he should be okay. Great detonation there by Raynor. Sets off one of those Widow Mines. Bunker? No, that's an armory. Sorry, at home there for MARU. MARU's 3rd command center is finished. His armory will time out pretty well so he can start 2-2. And remember, it's only single Evo chamber that's been upgrading, even though there are 2 Evo chambers there. Oof. Oh, good pullback by MARU. Great trade. Really good trade. Oh, and some great Widow Mines as well. Look at that. And he grabs a few queens. Beautiful micro by MARU. It is time to leave. It's past time to leave. There we go. It does get out of there. Units lost tab, though, definitely tells us a story. Not to mention the fact that simply by controlling this area, MARU has been denying the 4th base. Raynor. Uh-oh. Raynor. Oh, Raynor. Oh, he was not paying attention. He thought MARU had pulled all the way back. And And MARU has got a kill on the 4th as well. He's doing a great job of keeping him down under the gun right now. Does need to keep building SCVs and trying to saturate this base. We've got the 2nd factory that's coming up now, as well as the 4th and 5th barracks to add reactors. 1-2 upgrades versus 2-2 upgrades. MARU, a solid upgrade lead. That is going to be 1 upgrade ahead for a long time in this game. But Baneling Runby is already queued to his 3rd. He's only got a depot out there to spot and block for that. And the 4th base for Raynor going to be taken on this left side. Raynor's creep spread still sucks, but he's got a Spire out now. He's at 74 workers, but he doesn't have anywhere to mine from. He's got a lot of extra workers right now. Oh my god, another hatchery killed! Dude, this could just be a 2-0. Okay, well that has something to say about it. MARU loses a lot of SCVs, 11 SCVs, and remember, he has not been perfect with his SCV production because he's been so aggressive. He is now holding the SCV key down really well. MARU has not started the 4th command center yet, but hey, he's up against a Zerg who's stuck on 3 bases. He doesn't need to, mate. And the drop here looking really good. MARU is absolutely tooling Raynor right now. He's got him under the gun, but diving in here is a bad choice. That Queen, just 1 more hit to finish that medevac. He manages to barely survive. Does lose a few Marines there. He doesn't know mutas are about to pop though. Oh no. If he loses, he's already just thrown away about 10, 15 Marines there. If he loses the medevacs as well, and he doesn't know there's mutas right behind him. He has no idea. The Lings are going to corner him. This is 5 medevacs and about 11 more Marines. The mutas are now here. The Lings are on top. Oh no, no, no. This is so bad for MARU. He had so much momentum and tempo, but he's overcommitting into a Zerg on 3 base. Raynor so desperately needs a good fight right now. And a good fight is what MARU gives him. MARU getting ahead of himself, was not expecting these 9-minute Mutalisks. He's like, who goes Mutalisks from this position? This completely caught MARU off guard. Now MARU is pushing the bottom right, but that's too late. Pull home. You cannot be down here. MARU, this makes no sense. He's already cleaned up the left side. You know he'll be pulling back to a central location to dive in the bottom right against a player you know has mass mutiling Bane out. Incredibly risky play by MARU, and he needs to get home right now. If those units were already down here and they were diving in while that fight was going on, it would have been worth it. But this is just too late in the game to be going for this. He's lucky to get those units home, in my opinion. Now MARU, he's just thrown away a lot of units. He's got a lot of production, +3 on the way. His Marine production is gearing back up. I still think MARU's in a very good position, and this all comes off the fact that this 4th base is only going to finish at 10 minutes. But remember, Raynor got some very good fights. The units lost tab. You might think, oh, it's still in Terran's favor. Mutiling Bane versus Bio, guys. It's meant to be way worse than this for the Zerg. 5th base going down as well. Raynor trying to reestablish some map control with a bit of creep spread on all sides. We've got 1-2 upgrades. He really needs to start +2 melee, does Raynor, just to counteract everything. The fact that 3-3's on the way, MARU is in such a better setup as long as he keeps building Widow Mines, which you guys can see he's actually been missing Widow Mine production. He built a Thor. A Thor's a nice bonus unit, but it's not the most important thing. The other thing he will have to worry about is that the mutas could dive into his main. He's got 3 turrets there, but with no Marines, Widow Mines, or Thor nearby, it could be a little dicey. The other thing is that Thors can't fit there, there, or there. So Thors can only move around the south side of the buildings. Just something to be aware of if you are using a Thor to try and defend the mutas as they circle your main base. Now, if MARU can just get a few more Widow Mines out, he's now got triple Marauder production as well. Maybe add 1 more Thor in there. MARU should be able to start split pushing both sides of the map. And with the infestation pit only halfway done, +2 not even there, I mean, the 3-3 versus 1-2 and then 2-2 advantage. Basically, having a double upgrade advantage is just going to be game ending. I don't know how Raynor is going to weather these fights. He's going to need maybe some big Ling Bane run-bys. Like, avoid the frontal fight would normally be the play here for the Zerg, is try to get Hive, try to get 3-3, try to get up to... I guess you probably play Ultras from here. Maybe he does like a really derpy Lurker transition, but I think Ultras is almost got to be the play. If you could add a few Infestors, I think avoiding MARU in the frontal fight, it's probably your best bet as Raynor. And when he comes to push with 3-3, which should be any moment now, avoid fighting him and buy time. Now, right now, MARU is taking a while to move across the map. There we go. Now he's moving out. He's got mass turret. He's got a planetary on his 4th. Raynor looks like he wants to take a big frontal fight. I don't think that's going to work out well for him. Oh, look at that. Okay. 3 Widow Mines, not really getting big shots. Another 2 Widow Mines go down. Raynor just took out a whole bunch of the Widow Mines. There's only 2 Widow Mines left. And, oh my god, he literally just deactivates all the Widow Mines. MARU playing kind of scared right now, guys. I think maybe a little bit afraid because he's suffered at the hands of Raynor's Mutalisks so many times before, but now there's 25 mutas. And remember what I said, guys, there's no Marines or anything up here. He does elevate Marines into the main. They will be able to stim towards this. but not before a lot of SCVs go down. Ling Banelings roll in on the left side. Good hold there. Command Center does go down, but so does a lot of Ling Bane. That's a good fight for MARU. In the main, though, he's been overwhelmed, guys. He's only taken out 6 of the mutas. He's already lost the turrets, 8 SCVs, and a whole lot of the Marines. And that's not all. That turret's going to go down almost instantly. And it does too many mutas with +1, man. The Marines are trying to get down there. A lot of damage being done. The Lings find the right side base. Raynor is now in his element. And even though he was on the back foot for so long, the moment MARU overcommitted with those drops in the main, got caught by the mutas, that seems to have been the turning point in this game. This such a surprising play to go Mutalisks in this scenario. And MARU clearly did not expect it. And now the Ghost even is going to go down up there. Oh, that's no good. A Ghost does fall. The Thors should be able to chase these mutas out of there, but that is not a good situation. More Lings are in the third? Dude, MARU, you gotta fix your shit. Oh no, fresh mules. 4 fresh mules go down. The Lings are still in this mineral line over here, and it's utter chaos right now. Oh no, I do think MARU's super cramped base made it a little bit more awkward. He's created so many little walls for himself. It was hard to move around in there to defend these Mutalisks, but damn, dude, right now, Raynor finds himself back in the driver's seat. He's got 95 drones. He's going pure Lingbane Muta, just getting those tier 3 upgrades, adrenal glands, plus 3/3. The Muta's still bouncing around. A snipe does pop a Mutalisk there. Good usage of a snipe to get a 200 resource unit, very valuable. Turrets in the main, not going to be able to defend. Remember, these do not have high sec auto tracking. They do not have the armor upgrade just yet. The Ghosts will start to snipe these Mutas, but not before they take out a couple of these SCVs. Not to mention the Ghosts are a bit exposed on their own up there. Widowmine does get a good shot. Lingbane rolling in. Oh my god, that's a lot of Banelings. Dude, I don't know if that's going to be able to kill the Planetary or not, but it will get a lot of the SCVs. Oh my god, MARU will keep the base alive. Lingbane on the right at the same time. MARU tries to counter-strike, but it feels like it's been a bit too late in this game that he has gone for the counter-aggression. There's only 14 mutas left alive, but MARU's got to do massive damage. Now, a good drone evacuation by Raynor. He's going to move to that bottom right, so he'll still have 2 fresh bases mining, but that means his income is drying up a little bit. The Widow Mines are completely spread against. The Widow Mines not able to find the big hits because they just don't have enough bios supporting them. That Marine Marauder is going to go down very efficiently. He dives the right side, does MARU, but this becomes almost an all-in dive, right? These Marauders get left out on their own. The Ghosts and the Thors way further back there. This Widow Mine, will it get the shot that it needs? No, it kills 1 Zergling. Marauders getting caught by these guys. The Ghosts and Marines need to get up there. The Marauders do pull back, so well done there by MARU to survive for now. But survive indeed is all he's done. 24 mutas are out. Going up to 28 is Raynor, and he's going to dive in on top. Widowmine unable to fire, even with mass repair. 2 turrets is not going to cut it. And this has just been the power of this game, has been the Mutalisk. Even though they've come out so late after being stuck on 3 bases for over 10 minutes, Raynor finds the value with the Mutalisks, and it really feels like when he's able to run Mutaling Bane around versus MARU, it's like he's on an entirely another level. Oh, great snipes do take out a bunch of those mutas. Lings on this 3rd base finally getting cleaned up, and not before another 21 SCVs go down. And look at the units lost tab, guys. You might think this is a pretty good units lost tab for MARU, being 6,000 ahead. But when you're losing so many SCVs, 91 SCVs that have gone down, and your opponent's playing Mutaling Bane versus Biomine, Thor, now even Ghosts being added in. I don't think Ghosts are important at all in this situation, by the way. I actually think, like, against Pureling Bane, don't get me wrong, they're not bad, but, like, you just need more mines. You just need more Marines, mines, Thors. You need more firepower in your army. And these mutas are causing havoc once again, diving around, rotating, and seeing what goes on. And this is such a disaster for MARU because he bopped Raynor in game 1, and he was all over him here in this game as well. Despite having his style scouted 2 games in a row, he has taken big advantages. And this should be such a confidence boost. Yet Raynor wriggles his way out of harm's way. He shows that caliber that only him and Dark seem to possess, where Raynor, Dark just never die when they're supposed to die. And Raynor, ow. Okay, but look at that. There's still so much Lingbane on the left. This base over here is so important, but that's too many Banelings. The Banelings want to blow up on the inside of the mineral line so they can hit the SAVs as well. MARU does do a quick spready, but a quick spready ain't gonna cut it because there's just too many Banelings. The mutas on the right side still being cheeky dickheads. Zergling still running around. MARU will now grab his army and go for one big counter push. And even before he gets to the other side of the map, he's like, yeah, there's no way. It's going to take me a minute to get across the map. He's going to have 200 more Banelings. And what a disaster of a turnaround there. Game 1, a bit of a disaster for Raynor, but That I really think he just did not expect the mutas. Let's go back to about 10 minutes, because this is like where he's just killed the 4th base for the 2nd time, right? And this drop in the main, and I thought he was going to lose that full medevac to the queen, but Raynor didn't target it. But he drops in there. He does lose a few marines to the baneling, so he's a little slow on the pickup. And it's just, he has no idea about the Spire, where did the Spire build? He's just seen it then with the medevac. Okay, so he knows about the Spire now. He should just click this right home. He should not be telling us to unload because he's seen the Spire. But I don't think MARU, even though he technically saw the Spire, I don't think he registered that that Spire was there. And this happens a lot. He was focusing on a lot of other things. He was microing against the Ling Bane. But losing all these medevacs is just terrible, man. It's so, so bad. 5 medevacs, loses about 20 marines here. And it feels like MARU goes from so far ahead. You know, his 4th base is building literally earlier than the Zerg's 4th. Like, come on, man. And he's ahead at upgrades. Like, it's just, any Terran would kill for this position. And MARU would have killed for it at 9 minutes or 8:30, whatever it was. But then he's suddenly on the back foot, and when he does finally push through the middle, I do think there was one more big mistake. And remember, I was talking about Widow Mines are really important. He's got to get out there. He's got to start pushing. And when he does finally gather up to push through the middle, he's a little tentative. You can see Raynor kind of runs forward, and he's like eager to slow this push down and try to ambush him. And notice how all the bio kind of just runs away. And so the Widow Mines are all just getting wrecked for a handful of Ling Bane. And then suddenly Maru's army is not very good, because he doesn't have any Widow Mines backing it up. So, and he pulls back. So I really think he had an opportunity here between 11 and 12 minutes to get out there and start pushing Raynor and split pushing him and so on. But Raynor did a great job of getting forward on the map, ambushing him a little bit, pulling him around and finding these openings. And the moment the mutas started getting in the main, wow, did he start to turn this around. This was awesome play by Raynor. Let's go into game 3. All right, guys, let's go into game 3. Up here in the top left side. Tearing it back in that last game, and nice comeback for him. You're not meant to make comebacks like that versus MARU. This is Raynor for Clash Gaming, and MARU down here, he's normally known as the guy, like when he dominated Korea in 2018, he made so many epic comebacks. And there's like even an Artosis saying where they're like, if you're ahead versus MARU, you're even. You know, like, what is it? It's like, if you're even, you're behind. If you're ahead, you're even. And if you're behind, you're dead. You've already lost. Well, Raynor was just behind, but I think Raynor has even more of that comeback factor than MARU does. And we saw it there, because he just made a comeback versus the guy that's meant to be literally beating you even when he's losing to you, sort of thing, and often is versus most players. But Raynor makes that epic comeback. They're going into Berlingrad now. And this is interesting, guys, because we were talking about how I was casting a series yesterday, and this is obviously in live terms, right? So I don't know when this is going to make it to YouTube and what order and stuff, but I was casting a series and we were thinking, I think it was Time, who had some really odd map vetoes, because it was like the whole TvZ best of 3 was played on like Glittering Ashes, Hardwire, and 2000 Atmospheres giant maps, but most Zerg vs Terrans I see played on Berlingrad, right? So it was really weird, because I think the Zergs like those big maps, and normally it's the Terran player who vetoes, I think, Glittering Ashes because it's too big. Hardwire often stays in, as we saw. MARU played Hardwire. But then 2K Atmospheres, I think, is probably... Or, no, Pride of Altaris and Glittering Ashes, I think, are the 2 Terran vetoes as standard. People, you guys can let me know what you think, because I don't keep up with pro player vetoes that much. I don't get to see them vetoing as much. So I think Pride and Glittering would be the Terran vetoes. And I think the Zerg vetoes would usually be Blackburn, especially for Raynor. He hates Blackburn. But Blackburn and... Curious Minds is a very small map as well. So I think that's what the vetoes normally are, and that makes sense, right? Because that's why we play these series, and it's so often... So what did we have game 1 in this series? That was actually 2K Atmospheres, wasn't it? Yeah. So we had 2K Atmospheres, and then we had Hardwire, and then Berlingrad. And this map is kind of a Terran map, right? So I think 2K Atmospheres is pretty balanced, I guess. But it's interesting, yeah. Some people, some Zergs might be okay playing Blackburn. So I guess there's a little bit of personal preference in terms of these maps. I mean, there always is. But it's just fascinating to me to think about. I'm like, why do we always play Berlingrad? The Terrans really like this map. Now, talking to Raynor at this tournament live, we're talking about how every Terran kept doing 2 base all-ins on this map, doing big tank pushes up here, trying to get the tanks there, just doing these big 2 base pushes. And he was like, yeah, I mean, it's not a bad build, but like, why would you waste Berlingrad on this? He's like, it's such a good map for standard play. Like, you've got to be ridiculous. You know, you got to be, why are you wasting your good map and just doing a 2-base all in on it? Like, do that on the map that you're not favored on. And I got to agree with it. I think it was weird just how many players, especially like Bunny and Dream and a bunch of these other Korean players were like, Ryung as well. They were like, oh, it's this map, got to do the 2-base Marine tank push. And I was like, I don't mind pushes like that. I think they can be good. I think they are good on a small map like Berlingrad. But the moment they become predictable, I think they become way worse. Like, way worse. Now, Maru's doing the same build from game 1, right? Yeah, he builds 2 Hellions, 7 Marines. He's going to load those into the dropship. He's sending 2 Marines out to try and deny this Zergling, which is hanging out front of the base. Fusion Core is already on the way, and there's no Overlord speed this time. But Reynor's going in for a slow Overlord scout, and because there's nothing at home that shoots up, oh, he gets to see everything. This is perfectly timed. He enters the base at 4 minutes. Oh, this is so good versus this build order for Raynor. He's going to see the battlecruiser tech and everything. Let's see if he can actually handle it, though, because remember, he did just totally lose in game number 1 versus the same opening. Already losing 1 Overlord. The other Overlord's starting to fall back. It feels like he's only just realized what he's up against here. Sees the Fusion Core, though, which is the most important scout. And those Marines plus the Hellions going to rotate around, see what they can find. So he goes just out of vision, unloads. He wants to come forward and get the creep tumors as well as work his way around and deal with any of these Overlords if he can. Surprised Reynor's left these Overlords so far out. They are still potentially easy pickings. Does indeed find that creep tumor. And he's not going to get that Overlord. There's no way. Yeah, Zerglings do cover that. So the Marine cleans up the Overlord in the base, but he knows it's battlecruisers. We can see the 3rd command center, though Raynor has not seen that natural wall at all in this game. And a Lair and a Roach Warren have gone down for Raynor. So this is going to be really interesting because the Roaches are going to go in. And, I mean, Roaches are obviously good versus mech. The question is, how do you handle the first BC? Because with this build, I guess it hits you just before 6 minutes. It's not the fastest battlecruiser. You squeeze the medevac in first. Ooh, this is kind of bad. Raynor. Echoes a game 1 here, mate. Echoes a game 1, even though it's much later in the game and he does have some transfuse. He does lose a queen. And it was a bit dangerous for a moment, but he does gather his forces. So the Spore Crawlers, look at this. They're all finishing just before 5:30. Yeah, so this is going to be a 5:40 battlecruiser. And does he split his queens to deal with that? He's got so many queens up front. But I think the standard thing is to send 3 or 4 extra queens in the main because you know that's where the battlecruiser is going to teleport. Now, knowing you've been scouted, Maru should not teleport on top of the Spore. If he teleports on top of the Spore, that is objectively a bad move. And I'm saying that because during recent tournaments, I've seen people mess it up. That's a good teleport. Notice how he's just on the edge of Spore range. He can easily, quickly get out of it, gets a few drone kills immediately, and he just kind of pulls back, is like, all right, try and pick off this Overlord maybe. I would like him to go back and get that. Oh, bad micro by Maru. Doesn't get the Overlord and takes a bit of extra damage. It's not the end of the world by any means, but it is a bit of a bummer. And the quick double armory. So Maru wants to go very heavy on the mech upgrades, but this does slow down his Yamato, as well as his extra tech labs not down just yet. He is splitting up, though. Check this out, guys. He's still got a Marine drop. He's got a lot of Hellions getting ready to dive in. They could run past the Roaches and just roast up a lot of drones. Picks off some tumors. The Queens have been pulled out of position to deal with that. Reynor's got a Zergling run by, though, which could be massive. He's got a Zergling run by. 3 Roaches will not defend these Hellions. He does try to do a bit of a spready on the drones. At the same time, though, the Zergling run by got misclicked. Oh no, he misclicked his Zerglings. Okay, he fixes it up. They are going to hit that base, which is mostly undefended right now. 12 workers go down at home. And Marines are going to try and drop in the choke point. Oh, nice move by Maru. Oh, Maru. Did he only lose like 2 SCVs? Okay, a 3rd SCV goes down, but that was still sick plays by Maru. Drops the Marines in the choke point. Says no surface area for you, dickhead. So what happens, man? You know this is a future war and fighting hand-to-hand is some imbecile caveman shit. Raynor says, excuse me, what did you say? I'm a cave Zerg, bitch. And then he fucking drops the Spire, starts the Roach upgrades, and he's gonna play, I guess it's just Corruptor Roach Ravager. Maybe some Banelings in there as well in the near future. Don't know why we're talking in that voice, but we're excited. Hellions tanks are looking all right. The Zerglings will run in, see if they can grab a few SCVs, and like the way he tries to split in the mineral lines, he's just trying to create chaos. But Maru has definitely defended. I thought this was one of those moments where you're hitting the Zerg in a few places, you do some drone damage, and then suddenly, like, you lose 15 workers on your 3rd, and it's way worse for you as the Terran to lose that than for the Zerg to lose 10 to 15. And Yamato's on the way. I think this is the 3rd battlecruiser starting up. He's going for a 4th factory now. He probably meant to build a 5th one, but didn't have the gas for it. Oh, he's doing another Hellion dive. This could be good. No Evo chamber block. The Evo chamber block, Reynor's famous for getting that down usually, but look at this. This is well worth throwing away a few Hellions to slow down that Zerg macro. 17 workers go down. The battlecruisers go in. They're going to take out... No, transfuse is a good ability, dude. The battlecruiser is not really able to do anything there just yet. He's going to teleport back, and he's going to repair now. You'll see pros like MARU are really efficient with this, guys. Rather than pulling the SCVs to repair, they'll put the battlecruiser in the mineral line, and then he'll tell the SCVs to repair when it's above them so that he loses the least amount of mining time. See what I'm talking... Well, did he just... I think he just sent those back to his natural. Yeah, there we go. So very nicely done. And you can see they're queued to go back to mining as well. He runs the other battlecruiser in. It almost dies. Did he use Yamato on it? No, Yamato's not quite finished. He scans the natural and sees corruptors are coming out, so he knows he's not up against Mutaplate. 4th base is going to move out. And guys, I think MARU is getting very well set up because 1-1's finishing, which means he's ahead on the upgrades. He can go to 2-2. And Raynor, I mean, you might be like, why is he not upgrading? What's he doing? Well, he's got a very big economy, but he's going to need to trade, and he needs to do it very soon. Because he's just building roaches and corruptors, and this is a short-term army, so he needs to make a lot more roaches, get some ravagers out, and he needs to start busting in, breaking sensor towers, denying bases. But with 3 tanks there, 2 tanks there, a squad of battlecruisers, definitely needs another turret. He needs 1 or 2 turrets in the middle. This is the big blind spot of MARU right now, is if his battlecruisers get caught in the middle, they could get dived by the corruptors. That being said, Hive is on the way, 2 more corruptors as well. No air upgrades for those corruptors. 2nd Evo chamber and +2 range are now starting. Hellion run by goes in, doesn't find anything. And notice it's a very late blue flame for MARU, which makes perfect sense because he's so gas-starved with this build. 2-2, very important. The battlecruiser production up to this point to get those 3 battlecruisers, the squad that is going to tax Raynor, going to try and just pick off corruptors, pick off queens, pick off drones wherever they can. But Raynor well positioned to deal with this. So MARU's got to have a quick response, and he's got to immediately recall. I say recall, I mean... Oof. Sorry, guys. I have a big pain in my body. It's almost feels like a fucking rib thing. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like a muscle spasm in my back. And I was laughing at the fact that it's the only Terran unit that has recall. And if Terrans just all made battlecruisers, we wouldn't complain so much about Protoss players. But as I laughed at it, it actually caused a sharp pain in my back. So sorry. Sorry for the pause in the commentary there, guys. Oh my god, guys. We're seeing the 4 barracks ghost transition. 2nd engineering bay goes down as well. Now, the one problem here is that he's spread himself a little bit thin, right? By taking this 5th base. So MARU, he's spread across many angles now. And the important thing is just to make sure you don't get surprised by Raynor in any one place. Obviously, as he's got planetaries up, you know, he's going to be getting building armor upgrades at some point. He will get close to unbreakable here. I just I look at this for Raynor and I'm like, man, you're looking like you're going to endgame with Roach Corruptor against a guy who is the king of endgame. Like, how does this work? I can't imagine it works out very well. Triple Yamato. Does he get... He's got to teleport. Oh my god. Oh, he loses a BC. Well done. The Queen's damaging that. Oh, and that's why you got to be so careful with those Yamatos. Already loses a battlecruiser. Guys, those battlecruisers, their job is to survive for the entire game. That is their entire purpose, is to never lose them. So losing one of those BCs is definitely a problem. He has a Raven, just showing how much efficiency he wants here. He does want to push the creep back as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to put a tank here and use the BCs to try and clear up that creep. But of course, he needs to wait for teleport to come back on. Ghosts are being built 4 at a time. Broodlords are being made. Okay, so Reynor's going to go for a surprise Broodlord timing. And you know what, guys? There's only 3 ghosts. There's no Thors. I think this is actually catching MARU off guard. I don't think he realizes this is the case. And he does not really have Vikings. He doesn't have Thors. He's only got 4 ghosts, which is going to do nothing. 2 battlecruisers that have already used their Yamato. I don't know what MARU does here except run the heck away. This is actually such a scary timing. How was MARU not prepared for this? He should have been scanning and building units to respond to it. He's starting up Thors now, but he was not ready for this. His tanks are focus firing very well. The battlecruisers don't really want to fight out there. He's got multiple Ravens. I don't know why he's been building multiple Ravens. It's such a utility unit. It can't be the highest priority in this scenario, surely. The ghosts are starting to get taken down. Yamato does take down 2 Broodlords, but a battlecruiser falls. And dude, this is just shoving right up into him. He's taking so much damage. There's still 7 Broodlords. MARU, I thought, was so well set up for the late game. And honestly, this is the only unit that he was weak to, was the Broodlord. Yet this Broodlord timing from Raynor has caught him completely with his pants down. Raynor, a little bit unsupported there. Does lose 4 Broodlords there. Gets a bunch of the Ghosts, which is nice. But P-time. P-time, there's no anti-air down here. That's a huge move for Raynor. He's still shoving in with Roaches and Lings. It looks like the Hellbat Thor will barely be able to hang on and defend him. Some more transfuses on the Broodlords would be nice, but the Corruptors P down the Planetary. That is a huge victory there. Of course, a new command center does land. MARU, he's not out of the woods yet. He's got a Battlecruiser slowly trying to pick off these. But look at that. The Battlecruiser's going to fall. Another one of his high efficiency units going down. And it looks like now, finally, I think he can defend. But Mauling Roach Ravager coming in. He's got to be careful, because he needs the Hellbats to guard against that. Looks like finally the last Broodlord will fall. The Corruptors have been doing the Dew. They've been drinking Mountain Dew all day, preparing for this elite game, a moment where you unzip your fly in the middle of the LAN party and pee on the keyboard of the guy who just beat you in the video game. But it's not enough to take out the command center. Good repair, good ghost drop to snipe those Corruptors. And the command centers over here do get wiped. Remember, the Planetary got P'd down, so this was an easy engagement for Raynor with the Ling Ravager to get rid of 28 SCVs, and finally the economic damage has come home. After it looked like MARU was going to stabilize without too much damage, he's now way behind, and he's really got to protect this army. I don't know if he knows about the mass banelings, but he doesn't have much behind this, guys. He's got to get tanks out right now. He's only got 1 tank, and he's in a bit of a blob. The Banelings are going to cause him some trouble. They're going to clear out the Hellbats, and if he gets rid of the Hellbats, the Lings beat everything else in this army. He does save 2 of the Hellbats, but there's just too many Banelings. The Biles landing on the tanks. The Thor's falling. An orbital command center goes down there as well. And even though MARU will hold on, he loses so many valuable units. Raynor just trade. Honestly, Raynor just... Do you guys remember Pokemon cards? He just did that thing where you're like, here's my really fucking awesome common card. You go up to a kid that's younger than you, and they're like, wow, common? What's that mean? You're like, it means it's worth a lot of money, and it's super fucking awesome. But you know what? I'm a good guy. I already have one of these. I really want your really low tier super shiny card over there. You see that level 4,000, definitely not worth 36,000 shiny ghost mech card. I'll trade you my much more expensive Roach Zergling Baneling card for your Thor Tank Ghost Hellbat card. MARU takes the trade, and at the end of it, I think he's realizing he may have been tricked by that little shitbag who gave him a bit of a dodgy deal. Raynor's going to go in one more time. This fight, not as good an angle. A fantastic pullback. The Ghosts are going to hold. Raynor is outnumbering him so much, and he gets a good enough trade, dude. Still clears all the tanks and Hellbats. And at this point, MARU is just completely dead. Look at this, Raynor! He ran those Corruptors up, and he's morphed Harassment Broodlords. Chad Gamer Raynor is just trolling at this point. He has got MARU down, and he caught him with the Broodlord timing against a tank-heavy style. And yeah, the Broodlords there are doing really good, dude. We've got a good point. Someone in Twitch chat has just pointed out, Taint Lord says, yeah, I actually once traded a Charizard for a fruit roll-up in middle school. Hashtag regret, lads. Share us your stories of your worst trades in any sort of trading game situation. Oh! Big fight, big fight, big fight. Big Blinding Cloud goes down on the tanks. The Ravagers, the Banes, the Ghosts are trying to pull back. The Lings and the Mineral Line are doing so much damage. The Ghost tank is being so efficient here. But he's losing his Mineral Line. If MARU had evacuated the Mineral Line, maybe his Ghosts are holding the line. And at this point, that is a whole bunch of goddamn superheroes. At least one of those is Jason Statham, Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. It is the 5 fucking super action hero Ghosts that are holding the line and keeping MARU alive. But I think this is one of the action movies where in the end all the good guys die. Because I think there's just too many bad guys to be counted at this point. MARU at this point needs a really shit movie ending. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the original Matrix ending, where you're like, oh cool, so he's figured out how to like bend the system and fight better and stuff, and it's awesome. Oh, and then he just, oh no, but he does get overpowered and dies. But wait, oh, he found the IDDQD command. Right now, MARU needs the IDDQD God Mode activated command, because it's the only way he's gonna hang on. And holy crap, what a kill zone! What a kill zone! I guess he just found the command. I guess I mean, I don't know how long that God mode is gonna last though. You can type in IDDQD, but I think he's gonna need IDKFA as well. I think he's gonna need a bunch of others. All your base R belong to me. Gold is good, greed is good, and all the rest of them. Because Maru is still only got this handful of units. Now that squad of ghosts are still there. They're all getting up to 8, 9, 10 kills. They've definitely done a lot of work. For Raynor, all he needs to do is bust this top base with Banelings and then rotate back to the bottom. Maru, there is no reason to take this base. Okay, this is a nonsense move. Maru's whole defense has worked because he's stayed on this choke point here. And then he just moves. Why would you take a 5th base? You've got plenty of minerals on your 3rd and 4th right now. All you need to do is survive. Maru, he doesn't even have enough SCVs to take this new base in the bottom. And yet he spreads himself too thin like butter on too much bread. And this tells us, guys, this is why you should read books and not just play video games as a kid. Maru clearly has not read his Tolkien. And yeah, dude, there's no reason why he would secure this base right now. He just gave up this bit. I know it's only got 4 mineral patches, but he's got to just keep a compact defensive position because it's the efficiency that will get him through this game. Now he's given up the top side, and this has opened up more avenues for Lings to come in and get fantastic trades. Lings happy to take out a tank. Now they find an undefended mineral line. Big push on the front. Raynor, though, he is very clumped up in a kill zone. Once again, the layers of spread tanks, the ghosts, getting some snipes on the retreat as well, getting some fantastic trades there. The Lings still picking off SCVs. He can't afford this. Maru, he's doing an epic hold right now. He's hanging on for dear effing life. And I'm telling you, this is super heroic. Oh, Raynor thinks he's outpositioned him, but he walks into the kill zone from before. And yet again, okay, at this point, this is getting to become a bit of a chicken shoot. Turkey shoot is what it's called. A Ravager shoot is what this is. Because Maru, I mean, he keeps walking into that choke point and this area. And I think this top angle is where the damage is being found. And once again, Raynor goes to the top. Endless Zerglings flooding in. He is so ahead in this game. He will try to take out the bottom again. I think a good choice to not go too far. He biles down a tank. He does get inside that main base. This Thor over here, a bit of a Chad, but being a Chad isn't going to make up for the fact that the Zerglings can kill you. Oh! But 8 SCVs do gather around that Thor to collaboratively give him a reach around and repair him back to full morale. Zerglings still doing damage though, denying SCVs and gases. There is creep literally blocking his 4th base from landing, and Maru is still spreading himself out too thin. There's no reason why he should be trying to expand up here and down here. At the same time, he's got to choose one side and just consolidate his defensive positions. Oh, Hellbats! To get some great shots on the front-running Zerglings. The snipes do go down, the ghosts cloaking backwards, and I feel like this is that same squad of ghosts from earlier who are now getting closer and closer to 15, 14, 13, 12 kills each. These ghosts are just being so awesome for Maru. They've been very effective. He is still building ghosts 2 at a time. 2 Hellbats and a Thor. Some more snipes come down. Beautiful play from Maru. Tanks are moving about this map as best they can. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factories are out. And Ravens, Vikings all coming out forwards. The Infestor there. One Infestor, one random Infestor. Is it going to help? Maru! He pushes forward for the counterattack. The Banelings wash up on his tanks and Thors. His ghosts once again fall back the line and rain down their sniper fire from afar. And dude, he is so far behind for so long that this one elite army says, you're just a bunch of fuckboys, Zerg player. We are here to take you to D-Town. 10 ghosts, 13 Hellbats, 4 Thors, only 3 tanks remain, and those tanks are so darned important. 21 kills, 16 kills, and 30 kills. Sergeant Chadhammer is deep in the red. SCVs are being pulled. I'd like to see them repair these tanks, Sergeant Chadhammer especially. And once again, collaborative reach around will repair him back to full morale. A Raven is here as well. A lot of spellcasters. Lings get in though, and they are making him even more all in. This base has been left alone. Raynor definitely could be killing those 2 bases right now, but he's letting them go. He's going to come in, though. A big, giant surround. Lings from the right. Ling, Bane, Ravager from every side. You can see, though, the Overseer's lagging behind. The Banelings were not able to finish off those ghosts. The ghosts avoid death. The Thors are still standing strong. There is a 27-kill Thor in there. An absolute Chad gamer. Maru's ghosts are still standing strong. One of them is on 25 kills as well. Dude. Chad, Hunter, And all the rest of the fucking Alpha squad over here, damn, they are just destroying this shit. Guys, Reynor's actually losing mining right now. He loses this base. If he loses this base as well, which he will, what's he gonna do? Well, he will get Maru's entire economy. This is a big problem. If he goes to that bottom base, there's no planetary on any of these bases anymore, guys. And that's a huge problem. The drones trying to get out of here. This war zone is an absolutely terrible place to be. And look at this. Okay, he's going to have to fall back to his rally is MARU. He's going to have to try and get some tanks and Hellbats back, lift his orbitals. He's still got this one elite army out on the map. He's going to try and pull it back right now, but he might get ambushed. What have we got from Raynor? Raynor unable to max out right now. He's exhausted his gas bank. He's got half a base mining there and a fresh base mining in the bottom left. But there's still this one squad that just will not go down. The Ghosts, the Thors, the tanks, the Hellbats. MARU is showing just how ridiculous his late game Ghost mech is. And once again, he's going to win a fight. Auto turrets and snipes to finish it off and close the deal on that army. He gets down to 69 supply, and some say, oh no, he's down to 69 supply, but I say, oh yes, he's on 69 supply, and he is right now just dicking Raynor fight after fight. Raynor on 69,000 units lost. Guys, it's the 69 Eclipse right here. The 69 supply for MARU at the same time as he killed 69,000 units of Reynor's. That is a total eclipse of the Starcraft right there, and my heart does not know what to think about this. It just knows it's fucking awesome. Widowmine gets a big hit. 11 Zerglings do go down in the last two bases of Raynor are about to fall. MARU right now says, I am literally unkillable, you idiot. You should have killed me 10 minutes ago when you had double my supply, dummy. Reynor's like, joke's on you, I still have double your supply. MARU says, no, joke's on you. I don't have a single worker, idiot. I literally am only 6 army supply behind. I still have a giant force of Ghosts, tanks, giant, not really. I have an elite squad. I have the most veteran squad of mech Ghost that you've ever seen. Ravagerling Bane, single infester. Raynor trying to retake a base in the top. This base, he wants to defend and hang on. He's going to go for it. He comes in a big link flank from the right side. He's going to get on top of the tanks. The Banelings go towards the Ghosts. Raynor clears the siege tanks. The Ghosts fall. And finally, on his 17th try, Raynor clears out the army that absolutely Chad moded it. MARU there shows once again amazing late game. But Raynor just catching him off with that Broodlord timing in the mid game and doing so well, guys. We've got to give props to this army before it goes down. It looks like most of the tanks had fallen. Sergeant Chadhammer and the like. The Ravens got 6 kills. The Ghosts, though, have been getting healed. We've got 21 kills, 17 kills, 16 kills, 22 kills, 27 kills, 19 kills, and 6 kills. These Ghosts had seen some shit, and they really were just absolute beasts. Amazing play by MARU to survive that long. I think we can question Raynor attacking into some of the choke points a few times. Raynor, when he gets ahead, sometimes does get a little bit sloppy, where he just kind of is like, yeah, any fight's a good fight. I'm far enough ahead. And definitely, I think there was 1 or 2 fights when he was so far ahead where he walked into the choke point there or there and kind of was going around a corner there or trying to go around a corner into the tanks that were up here, where he did clump up a lot and get annihilated. But MARU played like an absolute beast. And I think this is the example of why when talking to Dark, when talking to Solar, when asking these guys at Katowice, hey, is mech good? They said, when MARU plays it, yes. And if you let him add Ghost to his mech, it's unbeatable. Multiple Korean Zergs said this, and I think this game shows exactly why. But in the end, Raynor did catch him out. MARU needed to have a few Broodlords up at his initial max when that Broodlord timing hit, which was what, like, I don't know, 11 minutes or something, right? I actually don't know when it was, but yeah, you can see the 9 Broodlords morph. And actually, I think this was a bit unfortunate for MARU. Check this out, guys. He scans, right? He's going to scan and barely miss the Broodlords. So check this out. Yeah. So I guess he's just looking for the creep tumors, but those Broods morph forward, which is very dangerous, and he doesn't give it away. I definitely think we can argue that maybe there's too many tanks, but I mean, Reynor's shown what appears to be mass Roach Ravager Corruptor that could swing in and just all in at any time. So we kind of needed a lot of tanks to secure these bases. Definitely, though, I think maybe just a misstep with like, hey, you should already be building 2 or 3 Thors at this point. And if you have a few Thors, and if you didn't lose your 3rd battlecruiser, triple Yamato takes out 3 Broodlords. and then 3 Thors can handle the other 6, especially because, remember, this is not a complicated Broodlord timing. Raynor doesn't have Abduct. He doesn't have Blinding Cloud to drop on the Thors. He doesn't have Infestors. This is like Queens, Broodlords, Corruptors, Roaches, and Ravagers. It's a very basic army, but it hits a brutal timing, and against a guy who's almost completely reliant on mass tank, hasn't quite got his Ghost transition up yet, it is an issue. Now, maybe Maru would actually say, oh, that's not the case, Pig. I actually was just slow on my Ghost transition. If I was 40 seconds faster on my Ghost transition, I would have had 8 Ghosts instead of 4. I would have been able to snipe down these Broodlords because he doesn't actually have Infestors or anything, or Banelings to cover them. So my Ghost could have come in from here. I could have stood my ground. My Battle Cruisers could have flown forward and fought a little bit, and I could have sniped like 4 or 5 of the Broodlords, and then I could have defended. Maybe Maru would say something like that, but definitely a big thing to see there. GG, well played.